Welcome back. Let's learn about method overriding in PHP. Method overriding is the concept where the base class and derived class having method with same name and same signature. Same name and same signature means the name of the method will be same and the signature is comprising of three important aspects of method, that is the number of arguments of the method, type of arguments of the method, and the return type of the method. Let's see the example. Now in this diagram, in the inheritance, A is the base class having show method and B is the derived class having show method. If you can observe keenly, the show method is having no arguments in class A as well as no arguments in class B, and return type is also nothing. That's what it is, a void. So it means the signature of both the method in both the classes is same and the behavior or the functioning you can say will be a different one. Now as per inheritance, we know that we create object of only derived class. We don't create object of base class. If we create object of base class, it means there will be no concept of inheritance, because the definition of inheritance itself is a we can access the properties of one class by using object of another class. So obviously we will create object of derived class to call or access the method of base class as well as derived class. Now, if we create object of derived class, that is, we can create object of B class, and when we will call the method of class A as well as of method which is of class B, let's see what will happen. Now we will see this implementation in PHP. Now suppose if we have one class, let's see the code for it. Now suppose we have start tag of PHP and we have class A with function as show with no arguments or zero argument, and suppose this function is printing hello message. Closing of function, closing of class A. Now suppose I want to derive a class B from class A, so I am writing class B extends A. Here again I have a function with name show and that too with no arguments. Now, but the behavior is different, like this method show method is printing by. So if we can see, both classes are in inheritance and having having method with same name show, and the signature is also same, means this is having no argument, this is also having no argument. There is no return type for this method, there is no return type for this method, that is it's a void. But the functioning, the behavior is different, like this is performing some task of printing hello, this is performing some task of printing bye. Now we are done with writing classes. We are simply writing our PHP script, that is echo welcome to method overriding concept. And now as per inheritance we do create the object of derived class only. So we will create one variable, that is one object of class B. So is equal to new B. Now when I write object arrow show, it means this derived class object obj is calling method show. Now this obj object of B class is having rights, power to call method of A class, and obviously it will call its own method of class B. Now having same name will give what output? Let's see that. End of the PHP code. Now, for executing this program, we have to go to the browser and start our local host. Now, we are at the local host, but When we enter this, site is not reachable. We have to start our XAMPP control panel, and we will start the Apache server MySQL, minimize the code, and the XAMPP is started. Now we will run our file, that is o1.php, which is we do save in the our XAMPP folder under C drive in the htdocs folder o1.php. Now we save the file with PHP extension. We will go to the browser. We will start at the localhost as o1.php. Let's see what we got. Our code was like this. So class is not a executable block, so it started running the script from echo this method welcome message is printed over here on the browser. And when we called the method show method, we got the by output. Now what has happened? At the compilation time, compiler might have tried to save the address for this function call, or compiler have tried to link the function call with function body. So it will check the name of the method. So name of the method is same in B class, but B is derived from A. So B can call this obj object can call the method of class A as well. So it is checking for is there any method of name show. Yes, there is a method, so it gets confused. So compiler will check the number of argument. Now here are no arguments, so it will check whether there are arguments in class A show function. There are no arguments. It will check for the show function in B, no arguments. Is there any return type of this method? There is a void. So it checks whether it is return type, it's void, over here. So everything is same, but syntactically both function, both lines are same, logically correct. There are no errors. So compiler leaves this decision at runtime. So at the execution time, when the program gets executed, this line gets printed as we have seen over here, and the interpreter checks for this execution, but compiler has not saved any address for this line, or compiler has not linked this function call with any body. So interpreter gets confused now which method to call, whether to call derived class method or base class method. There is no option because nothing is saved by the compiler. So interpreter or the executor checks which object is used to call the method. Now this obj object is of which class? B class. So it gives priority to the show function of B class only because obj object is of B class. So this by line gets executed. It means the method in the derived class overrides the method in the base class. That's why this concept is known as a method overriding. So we got output of derived class method only. Now what about this base class method? How we can execute this hello line? How to call the overridden method of base class? Now there is simple solution for this. Wherever we have written code and wherever there is a method overriding in the code, and if you want to call the base class method which is overridden in the derived class, in simply that method of derived class, first line write parent keyword and scope resolution operator and give the method name of base class. So this line parent scope resolution show, what it does, it will call the parent class show method. So when this line gets executed, it will jump to the show function of B class only, and the first line is parent. So what it does, who is the parent of B class? A. So it will call the show method of A class. So it goes to hello line and then it will come back to byline. Let's save the changes and refresh our code at the browser. What output we get? Now see, we have received hello and bye. So this line of welcome message, and while calling this show method, it has jumped to the show method of B class, then it has jumped to parent show method. So here the hello line get executed and then it returns back to this line and the by line gets executed. So This is the method overriding concept in PHP. So in this session, we have seen method overriding. When the base class and derived class are having method with same name and same signature, then the method in derived class overrides the method in the base class. This is known as a method overriding. This is the example of runtime polymorphism or late binding or dynamic binding. Why? Because at the time of compilation, compiler tries to check which method to be linked with the function call, but everything is same, like number of argument, type of argument, and return type of method. That's why compiler gets confused, so decision is left for the runtime. And at the runtime, the object which is used to call the method is checked, and that's why only the object of derived class is created as per inheritance and the method is called, so only derived class method gets executed. So this is the example of runtime polymorphism. We have seen the implementation of method overriding. Now what is the solution to call the base class overridden method? Simply write in the derived class method as parent, scope resolution, and the name of the method. So this was about method overriding in PHP. Thank you.